Richard Madeley finds himself confessing this is intimidating as he steps inside what has been described as the world's toughest prison. The Good Morning Britain presenter joins thousands of inmates within one of the most controversial prisons for a new documentary on 5. It sees him explore Centro de Confinamiento del Terrorismo, Scott, the enormous maximum security prison that has become central to El Salvador President Nayib Bukele's war on gangs. There, he witnesses firsthand the living conditions endured by prisoners, with bright lights blazing 24/7, no activities beyond reading the Bible, identical meals served daily and an absence of hot water. He speaks with officers who implement one of the world's most stringent prison regimes, and experiences the harsh realities of life within the facility. Upon first glimpsing the prison, Richard observes, "It is actually quite intimidating, holy cow. This is full on." The former This Morning star is initially apprehensive as he joins 3,000 highly violent inmates in one part of the prison, which is the size of 32 football pitches. He sees hundreds of men confined to limited spaces, with the cells made of layers of bunk beds without mattresses. As Richard remarks, "It's more of a shock than I expected." He continues, "Whatever the reason that these men are here, we accept that they're very, very dangerous criminals. This is a terrible sight, it plucks at the heart." He adds, "It's eerily quiet." He goes on, "I've never seen anything like this in my entire life, and it's going to take a while to process it. Because the reality of seeing 3,000 men in cells, on metal bunks, nothing to do at all, is one hell of a thing to see." However, just minutes after he steps inside, Richard and the production team are ordered to leave. The presenter asks to speak to some of the prisoners, with the security officers insisting he is not allowed. The director is clearly keen to defend the prison against my questions on the inmates' conditions, Richard then observes. As he presses the officer on the harsh living conditions, questioning whether it is cruel, Richard is quickly shut down and ushered out of the door. He later narrates, "The pace suddenly quickens and we're being hurried around. Perhaps asking about conditions here is pushing too far. Then suddenly, we're asked to stop filming. I think I may have overstepped the mark." As Richard's producers are seen stepping into question on the filming conditions, someone is heard asking, "Are we done?" It's been shocking to see the conditions in prisons that have been criticized by human rights groups, and my questioning led to some tension, Richard adds. And now, we've been told we must leave. The filming crew is pressured to leave the prison, with Richard telling the officer, "We haven't come here to make a judgment, but I have to ask difficult questions." He later adds, "It's clear the prison director thinks that I haven't grasped how effective his Scott regime is as a deterrent to the gangs." I'm still hoping to see much more of the prison, but for now, we've been shown the door, he says. Ahead of the documentary airing on 5, Richard had said he was thrilled to be asked to front it. He said, "It's not every day you're given the chance to step inside a place as extraordinary and talked about as Scott. What struck me straight away was the sheer scale of it, and the stories behind it. In meeting the people who run a prison and those living inside it, what unfolds is a fascinating and often surprising look at justice, security and the human realities behind the headlines. It's been a remarkable experience."